Hi, Joyce Vance. Oh, my God, we found you. Hello.
Here I am.
Okay, let's get right to it because I need every second with you. You tweeted, listening to Merrick Garland, obviously, with a prosecutor's ears, and given the publicly available evidence about Trump, it's hard to view this as anything other than a statement that DOJ is investigating him, but we still don't see signs of an investigation that we'd expect to if it were happening. So what did you take from what he said and what is happening?
Look, I think we have to accept the fact that we don't know for sure. We don't see traditional signs of grand jury investigation going on. I would think that if, I'll use Ivanka Trump as a marker. If she got a subpoena to a grand jury, we would know because she would be protesting it. But Merrick Garland is an old hand at DOJ. He knows how to run a slow and steady investigation. And he is saying things that are consistent with a traditional investigation where you start with the lowest, folks on the criminal food chain, you roll your way up using cooperators and gathering evidence, and you end up with the most culpable people. And Merrick Garland is sending every signal that that's what he's doing.
You tweeted Trump is caught in the middle of the evidence of the January 6th committee's releasing and the DOJ's own progress prosecuting up the chain towards leaders of the insurrection. It reminds me of like an old Batman episode where it seems like the one wall is closing and then the spiky other one. Is that what we hope is happening?
It's exactly,
Yes.
I loved that Batman episode, right?
Thank
where
you.
Batman's trying frantically to push his arms out to keep the walls from closing in. I think that's probably how Trump feels at Mar-a-Lago, all joking aside, because you've got the January 6th committee publicly putting evidence together and labeling Trump's activity in connection with the big lie criminal. And at the same time, you've got DOJ where, we get these little inklings of investigation. For instance, the fact that one of the first things that the Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco did when she took over was authorize some seizure work involving some telephones that might have interesting information, those of Sidney Powell, the Kraken lawyer. So we do see a lot of signals of activity. We don't see indictments. That's not necessarily a bad sign.
Michael Flynn took the fifth, as we know, before the January 6th committee, as I believe Trump said only the mob does, correct? Only when you're guilty?
But it's great that after pleading guilty in open court twice to making false statements and having to get a pardon to get out of Dutch, that Michael Flynn has finally learned you shouldn't lie under oath. So there's progress in American jurisprudence for you.
You also tweeted it's going to get intense when a federal judge rules the committee is entitled to see Eastman's emails. That's the guy who authored the coup memo, because the evidence suggests Trump was criming with Eastman, not getting legit legal advice. So the judge is, tell us where that is. He's reviewing the emails, correct?
Yeah, the judge is now reviewing emails in camera. That means he's just doing it on his own without making them public to determine whether the committee is entitled to them. And look, there are a couple of paths here, Steph. There's the one path forward, the easy path, is if the court says Eastman has failed to establish that he was Trump's lawyer. So there's no attorney-client privilege, and the committee can see all of these emails. That's one path. But the path that the January 6th committee lays out as an alternative is that even if Eastman was Trump's attorney, these emails are outside of the attorney-client privilege because that privilege doesn't shield criminal conduct. And that what Eastman and Trump were cooking up was a criminal conspiracy to obstruct the certification of the 2020 election. And the committee is entitled to all of that evidence. And if the committee's entitled to all of it, so is DOJ.
Oh. We. Okay. Also, I just like that you called Stephen Miller a mama's boy on Twitter. Stephen Miller.
Okay, but look, true confessions. I keep all of my kids on our plan just because it's cheaper, and it also means they have to respond to my text messages. So I have a little bit of sympathy for Mama Miller here.
Okay, but isn't he a grown man with a wife and a child? Okay.
You would think that would be the cutoff, right? At least the point at which he gets married.
And
warning to my children, don't get married or you lose your phone coverage.
Yeah, you said bad luck. Mama's boy is going to see a lot of his records go to the committee despite his lawsuit. I mean, it's hard not to take away that they're obviously hiding something. I mean, what Flynn is taking the fifth on is the White House meeting at which they discuss seizing voting machines, right? And declaring state of emergency, martial law, whatever.
Yeah, so let me make a really important point here. These people do have a legitimate Fifth Amendment right to assert. You don't have to incriminate yourself with your own testimony. But The fact that they're all asserting the Fifth Amendment because they believe they do have criminal exposure means that DOJ had better be investigating them. Otherwise, they're just getting a free pass here. And so if in reality DOJ is not going to prosecute these folks, they need to convey that to the committee, and then the committee could compel their testimony. You know, if they're not at risk of prosecution, then they can't assert a Fifth Amendment right.
Right.
As long as that doesn't happen, I got to believe DOJ is at least contemplating
Yay!
investigation and prosecution.
Quickly, can I say thank you? You've joined the amicus brief arguing that the Texas law that criminalizes gender-affirming care for transgender kids. And thank you for that. Oh my God, I can't believe it's a hard break. I love you so much, Joyce Vance. Thanks so much. Kiss the chickens for me.
Will do.